Alrighty, well, welcome back to my YouTube channel, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Bitch, I know it's been a minute. I know it's been a while, and we're not gonna address that. We're just gonna keep on moving forward. What I did want to do today is record a video because, unexpectedly actually, I was in Hollywood with my friend Danetta. So this past weekend it was Record Store Day at Amoeba Records in Hollywood. Honestly, just like a way to drive customers into the store, right? Because honestly, the shit that I want, it didn't really have deals on, but that's neither here nor there. Every time I go into a record store, I literally do not leave empty-handed. Unfortunately, that is a terrible thing. So if I know that I can't spend money and I don't need to spend money, that's where you will not find me, in the record store. And of course, bitch, I would be like the only one to go into a record store and not pick up any actual records, right? I mean, records as in vinyls or LPs. And honestly, that's because y'all are just getting too into this record LP buying. And the businesses are starting to recognize and they are raising their prices. And honestly, I just cannot be bothered. Let me tell you, I was in Little Tokyo one time, going to a random record store, flipping through the vinyls, and I was like, a little, shocked at some of these prices. I was like, girl, what? Fucking Dream Street by Janet Jackson was like $30. I said, bitch, are you... I audibly let out a, oh my God. First of all, girl, you are no control. I don't even think you could ask Janet Jackson herself to buy that. And for those who aren't unaware, Dream Street is Janet Jackson before she was Janet Jackson. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's honestly just a testament to how expensive buying records is. Businesses are aware that consumers are pretty interested in these vintage records and they are cashing in. Let me tell y'all are falling for it. Not me though, girl, I'm not. Anyway, beyond that little tangent, I did happen to pick up some CDs. I feel like I'm the only person I know that still hunts for fucking CDs. And honestly, like, I use CDs for my car. Well, so I mean, they have a purpose. They're not just sitting there. I mean, they are just sitting there because you can only put like one CD in at a time. Anyway, let's get into what I actually purchased. Some things that happened. I ended up picking up Destiny's Child, Independent Women single. I actually had the Charlie's Angels soundtrack. My mom got it for me when I was a little kid. What was that, 2001? And that's when Destiny's Child released Independent Women. Yes, Cameron D and Destiny, Charlie's Angel. So this was actually pretty nostalgic. The Charlie's Angels soundtrack had this like similar font and it was black and it had like green. It was like such a cool little CD. I honestly need to go back and re-listen to it because at that age I had like the attention span of a fucking 5-year-old. I was 5, so 5 or 6. And so I never really got to the whole album. In fact, I only remember tracks 1 through 6. Track 1 was Independent Women, here you go. And track 6 was Dot, and that's another like random soundtrack song released by Destiny's Child. I don't even think you can hear Dot. Dot isn't even available to stream. They have like the E-Poppy remix that they released on their remix album, but you can't really find the original nowhere unless you download it illegally like I did. Fun fact, Beyoncé actually wrote this song by herself. Of course, when you look on the credits, you'll see writing credits contributed to the producers, and it did help her melodically and as far as like structure goes, but as far as like the words and lyrically, they went on record and saying that Beyoncé wrote pretty much the whole song. And it stayed at #1 for 11 weeks, so this is Beyonce's longest running #1 song in her career. And this is a 19-year-old Beyonce, so you guys tried to say that she's not a songwriter, but clearly she is. 11 weeks at #1, girl. We love a hit maker. I also picked up Toni Braxton's The Heat album. This came out, I believe, in 2000, and I mean, at the time, I was not a big Toni Braxton fan, but let me tell you, I have recently gotten into Toni Braxton, and I recently got into this album, so I was very excited to find this and pick this up. Fun fact about me, the title track, The Heat by Toni Braxton, is my most played song on Spotify of all time. It's always somewhere in my year-end list, literally in like the top 50. I don't know, man. Let me tell you, every person that I know that's heard The Heat literally cannot get enough of it. My friend actually put me on to it one random summer, I believe, and I literally, the rest was history. I cannot stop listening to that song. It's a really great song, honestly. You guys should check it out. There's a particular song of mine that I really like on here called Speaking in Tongues, and I did not realize that Toni Braxton wrote that whole song, like literally by herself. You look in the album credits and it's literally just her name, like Toni Braxton, songwriter. speaking in tongues. And I thought that was so interesting because whenever you hear about Toni Braxton or, you know, people speak about Toni Braxton, of course they speak about, you know, her deep voice and, you know, she's a vocalist, right? Of course. But you never really hear them speak about Toni Braxton's songwriting. And honestly, I don't think enough credit is given to Toni Braxton for the type of artist that she is. She's an amazing vocalist, of course, but like I said, these little gems that she has, that she's a songwriter on, and apparently, you know, she writes, you know, a song or two on every album. I'm still digging through her discography, but that was really cool to find out. A talented songwriter, and as well as being a talented vocalist. So shout out to Toni Braxton. She literally does not get enough praise. You guys should check that out. Listen to the heat. I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. And in fact, you'll be mad at me because you won't be able to get it out of your head. Now, this next purchase, Beyonce's Live at Wembley album. I actually never owned Live at Wembley. This is Beyonce's first concert DVD from her Dangerously in Love album promo tour that she did in Europe. This show was recorded at Wembley Stadium in the UK. And let me just tell you, Beyonce's homecoming documentary just came out. From this to that, the growth is amazing. I am a Beyonce nerd, so of course I still like Live at Wembley, but if I had to show someone who did not know Beyonce and wanted to become a fan of hers, this is something that I would possibly hide away. But let me stop hating on her, because Beyonce is an excellent performer and you can still see the raw talent in this. It's not as polished as a Beachella, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's still Beyonce, girl. It's still here. And I also picked this up because they have a couple of my favorite songs that were unreleased, including Wishing on a Star and a song called What's It Gonna Be. And if you don't know what this is gonna be, you're welcome. Go listen to that. Of course, you have to give a glove to my girl Janet, even though I'm kind of mad at her right now. Design of a Decade. So this is Janet Jackson's first greatest hit compilation album, and it was released in 1996, 10 years after the debut of Control, aka whenever Janet Jackson became Janet Jackson. And yeah, I think it's kind of odd actually that she released a greatest hit album after only 3 studio albums, because, you know, her 2 previous albums before Control are not included on this. So it's kind of strange to me that A&M and Virgin would decide to release, or who actually did this? Is this a Virgin record? Oh no, this is A&M. Oh, that makes sense. So yeah, Control and Rhythm Nation came out on A&M Records. That's the record label she was on. And then for her self-titled Janet album came out under Virgin Records after a major record deal. So, okay, makes somewhat sense. But at the same time, she was complicit in it because these are all new photos. So like I said, it's still weird to me that, you know, after only 3 albums, ooh, greatest hits. Like, I think you have some more chapters to write before we get into, you know, a solid greatest hits album. And in fact, she did. The Velvet Rope came after Design of a Decade, and that's like, I think, her best work. So, but interesting. I mean, it makes sense from a business standpoint, and then wanted to cash out on Janet and her massive success in the 90s. The reason why I actually purchased Design of a Decade, because it has 2 Janet Jackson songs that I adore, and Runaway is one of them. It's literally, I think, one of my favorite Janet Jackson songs, and you cannot stream it anywhere. It's been taken off of streaming platforms because, again, it's in like this weird tussle between record labels, because technically it's on an A&M release, but Janet was with Virgin at the time, so I think that has something to do with it not being available to stream, and so literally you cannot find it anywhere. So I had to go to the CD, had to go to the source. I'm just not going through the booklet, celebrating, you know, some of her most iconic moments. Only 3 albums worth, but still, you know, I guess, you know, it's you know, with a career like that, you know, you gotta take some time. Rhythm Nation and Control were pretty, Rhythm Nation especially, were pretty big moments in pop culture, especially on the charts. I think Rhythm Nation is still the only album to have 7 of its singles reach the top 10 or the top 5 on Billboard charts, like all 7 singles from one album. Oh, this is awesome. This is from Janet Jackson. This is her from Scream, on the Scream video. I love that look, by the way. Ooh, I have to get into this. There's like an article and everything in here. This is so dope. 24 play. We stand. Pretty iconic photo right there. Look at her achievements. She has an achievements page. I have to really dive into this. This is really not packaged nicely. Like I said, I still think it's a little premature, but shout out to them. This is how you're supposed to. This is how you're supposed to celebrate legends like Janet Jackson. So Beyonce, whenever you finally release her greatest hits album, that's someone who needs a greatest hits album. You realize, well, no, Destiny's Child had a greatest hits album still, but Beyonce, she has 6 studio albums that still has yet to release a greatest hit compilation. I think it's about time. And finally, my last purchase, it's Janet Jackson's I Get Lonely single. I think this might be my favorite Janet Jackson single. It has the iconic I Get Lonely TNT remix with Blackstreet. Yeah, I actually have this in vinyl. I actually have the Independent Women one in vinyl as well. So see, I buy the records, but so I was like, oh, might as well get the, the little CD, the little miniature version. I love the single. I love the cover. And it was only $1, so why not pick it up? And like y'all out here buying records for like $50 for a single. Y'all are funny. So yeah, there's that. And I got all that for under $20. Look at that. I think that it was a successful purchase. Anyway, let me know what you all think about my purchases. Did I make the right one? Should I have left some of them on the rack? Do you all even go to record stores? Are you like me and spend tons of money when you go into them? Is that something that people do? I mean, let me know. Am I crazy for getting excited when I walk into a record store? Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Please, of course, subscribe. Stop whatever you're doing right now and just hit that subscribe button. I promise you, you know what I'm saying? It'll be a delight. You're expecting the video from me. It'll be a delight to get that notification that I post a new video. Y'all laugh at me. I'm funny shit. Please like, comment, subscribe, do all of that. Follow me on Instagram. I've been working on some new cool photo projects with my collaborator, Thomas, on Alexander and Calm. So please check that out. I'll link all of my socials below. Again, thank you for watching, and until next time,